Yo, so let's review how I did this weekend. I made some predictions. Predictions that I thought were gonna come through, but I'm not very confident. In fact, I know that I didn't do as well as I expected to. So let's see how I did. Pulling on my phone for this one. All right. So we begin with the first game of the weekend: Aston Villa versus Brighton. Aston Villa versus Brighton. That game ended 6-1 to Aston Villa. How? How? It's a freak game. Brighton have been doing so well this season. Aston Villa has also been doing so well this season. Ollie Watkins just decided, Aston Villa forward just decided to have an exceptional game and bang in a hat trick. And they just decided to play so well. And Brighton decided to not play well. I just don't get it. I should have gotten this prediction right. Yeah. The game ended 2-0. My prediction was 2-2, I mean. I said Aston Villa, Brighton 2-2. It was 6-1 to Aston Villa. Yeah, failed woefully. Bournemouth versus Arsenal. I said 2-0 to Arsenal. It was 4-0. My boys were on fire. I'll give myself a point. I'll give myself, I don't expect to get the exact score line, but I expect to tell you guys who will win and who will not win. So I was right. I was right on that one, okay? So 2-0 to the Gunners. 2-0 was my prediction, but 4-0 to the Gunners was how the game went. Everton versus Luton. Everton. The one time I decided to trust this team, they fail me. They make me look dumb. Luton have not been doing well all season, and now they're getting their first win at the Goodison. I was very surprised by this one. The result ended 1-2 to Luton. Luton Town got their first win of the season. Their first win in Premier League history. They've never been here before. So this game will go down in their history books forever. Their first win ever against Everton. They beat Everton 2-1 away. Great result for Luton, by the way. So Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Hey. Even though I got this prediction wrong, I don't know. I had so much faith in Manchester United. I said it was going to be 1-1. But guess what? It was 0-1. Crystal Palace won at Old Trafford. And I was ecstatic. I was loving life. I was jolly and I was so happy with this result. But I am shocked. And I got the prediction wrong, guys. I got the prediction wrong, just like the last game. Yeah, it was 0-1. As my soul is happy, but I'm a little disappointed in my prediction. I should have known not to have too much faith in Manchester United. Nah, I'm kidding. And now on to the next one. Newcastle versus Burnley. That game ended 2-0. I said 2-1 to Newcastle. So I was close. Again, I get a point. Okay, how this is going to work is if I get the exact scoreline, I'll get 3 points. I've seen this a lot. A lot of football fan channels do this all the time. If they get the exact scoreline, they get 3 points. If they get just the result of the game, like who's going to win, or if it's going to be a draw, or if someone's going to lose, they get 1 point. So I'll give myself 1 point on this one. I didn't get the exact scoreline, but I predicted who was going to win accurately. I was close. So that game ended 2-1 to Newcastle. I predicted 2-0. West Ham against Sheffield United. I said the game was going to end 4-1. I don't know how I said that. But I said it was going to end 4-1 to West Ham. The game ended 2-0. I know why I said this, because Sheffield lost 8-0 the weekend before at their own ground. So I was like, oh, West Ham's going to destroy them. But I guess Sheffield stepped it up a little. They only considered 2 goals with no reply. So I didn't get the exact prediction. So that's 1 point to me. Wolves versus Manchester City. Another great result for me as an Arsenal fan. I had a great time watching the highlights of this game. But I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. Very shocking result, but my soul is glad. I'm very happy because they needed to relax a little. They needed to, be brought down to reality. And I always knew Wolves could, pose a threat, but I didn't think they were going to win. I did not think. I thought the firepower that Man City carries was just going to be too powerful for them. Was going to overpower whatever they had in store. So I was shocked by this result. So I said Man City was going to win 2-1. Wolverhampton Wanderers beat Manchester City 2-1. So reverse is the case, and I get 0 points for this one, but I am happy. I got points in my heart. And the last game for Saturday is Tottenham versus Liverpool. I don't even know where to begin with this game. It's ridiculous. The score says, well, the score was 2-1 to Liverpool. To Tottenham. Tottenham beat Liverpool 2-1. Liverpool finished the game with 9 men. Ridiculous refereeing decisions. The game. We should be talking about a great game like this. Mind you, I had no preference. Obviously, I hate Tottenham, but I don't like Liverpool that much. I just wanted to see a good game in the highlights, but I did want Tottenham to lose. But they won 2-1. And instead of us praising Tottenham that they're doing well, which as an Arsenal fan I never want to do, but you don't want to come out of a game worried about the referees, which is kind of like a thing. Forever, all my lifetime, every time the English referees always do something crazy in games. Last season was littered with errors. This season, again, we had a Manchester United game when Onana clearly fouled the player. They didn't give it as a penalty. And at this Tottenham game, Liverpool scored a clean goal. A clear goal. But the referee said it was offside. And they did not check. The VAR, video assistant referee, didn't draw the line to check if it was really a goal or not. Ridiculous. They were just completely robbed. At that point, Liverpool were a man down. And they went a goal ahead, but they got it chopped off. Imagine, I've watched Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool's manager's press conference after, and he's rightly livid. It's crazy to know that a game, well, we don't know what would have happened, but you had an edge, and that edge was stolen away from you just by human incompetence. Like, you have the video there. Go watch it back. Everybody who saw it, I watched the highlights of the game, and I could see clearly that he was onside. But somebody who is his job, this is the only job he has, and he doesn't do his job. And they keep getting away with it. They released a statement apologizing. But what is an apology going to do? You ruined an opportunity for a team that was already a man down, to have an edge in a tough game. I'm not even a Liverpool fan, but it's upsetting to see that a man can decide a game like this when it shouldn't be. The game is played on the field. Everything on the field should be reflected on the score sheet. Well, if fairly at least. If you don't score, you don't score. But if you score, it should not be taken away from you just because of incompetence. And now I'm seeing people talk about, it's VAR, it's VAR. This VAR should be out of the game. But it's not VAR. It's incompetence. The system itself doesn't have a problem. It's how it's being implemented. You have it there. You're supposed to use it the right way. If you don't use it the right way, we can't blame the system. It's the human beings that need to go back to the drawing board and get trained better. They need to know about the game, because these errors are ruining the Premier League. It's not fair. I have a conspiracy theory on how this thing might actually be helping the league. How conspiracy, we talk about bad press every press is good, whether it's bad press, right? But it's just, I think from a human point, imagine the Liverpool fans, how they would feel. I felt the same way last season against Brentford, when we clearly, Brentford's goal was an offside. And the guy said, he forgot to draw the lines to check if it was off. Like, what do you mean? That's your sole job. That's why you are paid. That's why you're there. It's really, really frustrating. And then some Tottenham fans are jumping and shamelessly, and they are happily claiming, there's a guy I watch, Expressions, he's shamelessly happy about the result. But I can't help but feel bad for Liverpool. It's not a way to lose a game. That's like the worst way. It's no fault of yours. At least if it's you that did something, you'll be okay. But this was just the referee. And I hope they go back to the drawing board with this, man, because these referees need to step up. So the game ended 2-1. I predicted 2-1 to Liverpool. So I don't know if I should. They lost me points here, because I don't know how the game would have ended up if Liverpool actually were given their legitimate goal. Very upsetting. So Spurs won 2-1. I predicted 2-1 to Liverpool. So I lost that. Now on to Sunday. Nottingham Forest, Brentford. I was hoping Nottingham Forest would win. I was going purely because they had Nigerians on their team. So I rooted for them to defeat Brentford. But the game ended 1-1, which I thought was a fair result. I lost points there again. What a bad day. And the Chelsea game. The Chelsea game, I predicted that it was going to be a 1-1 draw. I watched the game today. It was very Fulham just looked like they didn't want to play. Like I see Fulham, they're a fighting team. They played against Arsenal and they got a draw away from home at the Emirates. I thought they played well, but today at home they just looked like they didn't want to win, and I didn't understand that. I was pissed off because it just felt like they just gave up. Chelsea scored a good goal. Modric, the dude who 100 million, not 100 million, but close to 100 million pound man, scored a goal. His first goal after 10 months, and they're jumping around like he's a star boy. But I would wish him well if he wasn't. I don't have any beef with him. I feel like we dodged a bullet because we were so close to signing him and he was begging us to sign him all over his social media. But Chelsea bid more. We weren't going to go up because, we just didn't want to fall for the trap, and he's had a terrible time at Chelsea. Until today, he got his first goal today. He was hooked off at halftime, which I found strange. I don't know if he was injured. And they scored like 2 goals in like 2 minutes? The goals were just back-to-back. Broja, the striker who came in for Jackson, scored a fortuitous goal. Was very lucky. The defender made a mistake, first of all, and then he tried to get the ball. He hit it to Broja's leg, and then he scored. So it was a lucky goal. But I expected more fight from Fulham. Nothing really happened in that game in the second half. It was a very boring game. And Chelsea won. I got that prediction wrong. I didn't do well. I know I didn't do well. I'll calculate what my points are and I'll get back to you. So I just looked at my predictions and I only got 3 games right. 3 games in the whole weekend of games. Very disappointing. I'll be back again next week to give my predictions again, and I hope I do better. Peace.